I believe a lot of audiophiles have this problem. How can you get that tube amp sound charm? That kind of airy feeling in the sound, the richness in the mid-range, and the warmth in vocals. But at the same time, you don't want your home to feel like there's a heater running all the time, and when you try to drive your speakers, it always feels like the sound just can't quite break through, like it's missing that final push. Hello to all my fellow hi-fi enthusiasts. Welcome back to Hi-Fi Fever channel. I'm 388. Just now, I wonder if I spoke your mind. If you've ever run into this problem, then this time, I've got a machine to share with you that you really have to check out. It's from the Dutch brand PrimaLuna, and it's this EVO300 hybrid amp. According to the manufacturer, their goal is to combine the musicality of a tube amp with the driving power of a solid-state amp. They've created what they call an ideal tube solid-state hybrid integrated amp. Actually, there are quite a few hybrid amps out there, but can they really deliver on this promise, or is it just a marketing strategy? And the most important question is, this machine is selling for around $50,000. You can't really call it expensive, but it's not exactly cheap either. So is it really worth it? Hopefully, after this listening test, we'll be able to answer that question for everyone. Alright, I know you're all eager to find out, but before we start, let me do a bit of promotion. If you're watching this video and haven't subscribed to Hi-Fi Fever channel yet, please hit the subscribe button on the side. With your subscription, I'll be able to share even more videos about different audiovisual products with you all. No time to waste, let's get to the video. This time, I'm sharing with everyone this PrimaLuna EVO300 hybrid integrated amp. At first glance, it looks pretty compact and comes in a nice color, but when you actually pick it up, it's quite heavy, about 31 kilograms. You really can't tell just by looking. Now, on the front panel, there's a curved glass tube cover, which is basically the brand's signature look. Plus, you don't need any screws or tools to take it off, which is a nice touch. At the front, there are 6 12AU7 tubes, and if you remove the tube cover and turn off the lights at night, it looks pretty cool. It gives off a warm glow, which really feels quite soothing. The overall build quality of the unit is very solid. The chassis is coated with multiple layers of automotive-grade lacquer. The front panel is very simple, with just 2 solid metal knobs, one for volume control and the other for input selection. In the middle, there's an indicator light. When you power it on, it lights up red, and after about a minute, it turns green, which means it's ready to operate. Next to the input selector, there's a 6.35mm headphone output as well. The headphone switch is located on the side of the unit, while the power switch is on the other side. As for the remote control, it's definitely not an afterthought. It's made of metal and feels quite substantial in the hand. In terms of inputs, it has 5 sets of RCA high-level inputs and 1 set of home theater bypass, which lets you bypass the volume control. Normally, that should be enough for most people. But you might be wondering, why isn't there a balanced input? Well, if you really need a balanced input, you'll have to go for the higher-end preamp from the same brand. That's just how the product tiers are set up. Since this unit uses transistor output, it only needs 1 set of speaker outputs, so there's no need to differentiate between 4, 5, or 8 outputs. As for the outputs, they're simply divided into basic left and right channels. I especially want to mention the subwoofer output here. It has a mono and stereo switch, which makes it convenient whether you're connecting a single subwoofer or a pair. the subwoofer output signal is taken directly from the output stage, meaning the signal your subwoofer receives has exactly the same sonic characteristics as the main speakers. According to the manufacturer, this allows the subwoofer to blend more seamlessly into the system, making the dynamics even more coherent. Another interesting design is found at the bottom of the unit, where there's a separately suspended small chassis. It turns out this is the optional phono amplifier module. This phono amp module isn't housed inside the main chassis, and that's to avoid interference and reduce noise. This thoughtful design is definitely a plus point.
龍舟聽出心裏痛，因長街灑過幾分柔情，問句知心可相印，他相告自愛最是真。
So, is this machine designed by Hippie? Of course, to find out how hippie it is, you have to open up the case and take a look. When you see the preamp section, basically, they've taken one of Copper Factory's signature pieces, the EVO300 tube preamp core, and stuffed it in here. But they didn't use tube rectification for this one. Instead, they used 612AU7 tubes, 2 for input gain and 4 for driving. That's the whole setup. As for the signal circuitry, most of it uses point-to-point wiring. The most critical signal path uses Swiss-made silver-plated single-crystal copper wire, insulated with Teflon. According to the manufacturer, this can improve signal speed and clarity. The power supply section is pretty impressive too. For such a compact unit, it actually has 3 toroidal transformers. For the preamp, it uses 2, separately powering the left and right channels, and for the power amp, it uses a single large 500 V8 toroidal transformer. All the transformers are enclosed in metal cases and filled with anti-vibration resin to minimize noise as much as possible. There's also a signature PrimaLuna AC offset killer circuit, specifically designed to eliminate DC components from the mains power. This completely eliminates transformer hum. Now, let's look at the other components. For example, it uses Japanese Taga Micar relays, Japanese Tapman resistors, and different sizes of Dale resistors. Digitin capacitors, helps volume control, and there's even a motorized volume knob that can be controlled by remote. Really, they've spared no expense here.
满意你爱的吗？有何新发现？温柔的誓言，恋爱的肢体语言，努力爱一个人，和幸福并无关联。
What about the rear section? This is a brand new circuit design by the master of font design, Giant Degrees. With over 26 years of experience in mode FAD design, they've used this linear system JFETs for the drive stage. And with this specially customized Prima ruler transistor for the output, it operates in dual mono AB class mode. When paired with an 8-ohm load, it delivers 100 watts, and with a 4-ohm load, it goes up to 150 watts. On paper, the specs are already impressive, but when I actually listened to it, I felt like the output was even more than that. For this listening test, I connected the unit to my reference system to drive my Magic OS 3 2023 floor standing speakers. Honestly, I thought these speakers would be a bit of a challenge for the M, but when I turned the volume knob to just 9 o'clock, it was already plenty loud. Even if you really want to push it for a big, explosive sound, turning it to 11 o'clock is more than enough. Another thing I noticed is that it's super quiet, maybe that's thanks to the AC offset killer circuit. The background is extremely black and very silent, but this kind of quietness isn't lifeless at all. It gives a really clean and solid feeling, and all the details in the music come through very easily. Because this machine itself is very quiet, you naturally get to hear more details. But this kind of detail isn't like some box that just spotlights a certain frequency range and forces you to listen to those details. Instead, it presents every layer and subtle texture change in the music in a very relaxed and natural way. As for the bass, it really surprised me. I listened to a recently released CD, this one, actually featuring the Czech composer Miloslav Kavalaka's Symphony No. 1. Right from the start, there's a huge dynamic range, and when played through this machine, the impact and weight of the bass were truly impressive. It didn't have that muddy, dragging feeling that makes it hard to breathe. It really exceeded all my expectations. How about vocals? This machine really shows off its tube-like qualities here. The sound carries a touch of warmth and smoothness. The vocal imaging is solid and lifelike, full of presence. Another aspect that highlights its tube character is when playing the violin, the way the resonance and vibrations linger in the air, creating those overtones, is truly captivating. But it's not like those old-school tube amps where the sound is so thick it gets muddy, or has that overly syrupy, exaggerated second harmonic distortion. The sound from this machine is modern and healthy. It has the charm and musicality of tubes, but at the same time, it maintains transparency and a sense of speed. After listening to this EVO300H tube solid-state hybrid integrated amp, I'm really satisfied. To be honest, at this price, it's totally worth it. Not only does it have the musicality of tubes, but it also has the excellent driving power of solid-state. It really brings out the best of both tubes and solid-state, proving that the manufacturer isn't just talking big, they've actually delivered. Plus, there's another advantage: it doesn't get too hot. Like, I've been sitting right next to it with the machine on this whole time while I've been talking, and it's fine. You won't feel any kind of heat coming off it, so when you put it at home, it's not like having a heater running in your place all the time, you know? As for any drawbacks, well, if the optional phono stage also included an MC cartridge input, then it'd be perfect, because nowadays, most vinyl enthusiasts mainly use MC cartridges. Lastly, let me ask you all, do you prefer this hybrid integrated amp, or are you more into a full tube or full solid-state amplifier? Leave a comment and let me know. Alright, that's it for today's sharing. If you enjoyed this content, remember to give it a like. Subscribe to this hi-fi enthusiast channel, and you can also show your strong support by scanning the QR code on the screen to become one of our loyal members. See you next time on 388 Hi-Fi Talk.